Hey folks. All right, I've had a couple of people tell me that they're having problems hearing me on my videos. So I'm trying something new this morning. We'll see how that does. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things that happened last night. First, there was a missile strike in Erbil, Iraq. Now, because it's so early, it just happened, there's so many different news sources reporting on it, and everybody has their own slight slants to it. It's not clear what exactly has happened yet. At least what's being reported is not clear. I'm sure they have a good understanding of what's happened, but as far as what's being reported is just not clear. There's mixed reports, so I understand that. But reports are that there were anywhere from 6 to 12 Fateh 110 ballistic missiles that struck Erbil, Iraq, and reports are that they were launched from within Iran. Now, reportedly, these are the type of missiles that are most likely not going to be used by an Iranian-backed militia. So that leads the question as to whether or not it was launched by the Iranian military. Again, mixed reports indicate that it's unknown if the target was the U.S. Consulate, the U.S. base, or the airport within the city. The U.S. has announced that there's been no military casualties and no damage to any government buildings. The Iraqi government has launched an investigation, whatever that's supposed to mean. I'm sure they detected the missiles incoming and could pretty much track where they were coming from and have a good idea of who launched them, but supposedly they're launching an investigation. We'll see what comes of that. The curious thing is that the attacks come just as the U.S. and the EU have suspended talks with Iran over the new nuclear deal. And sorry for the shaky camera. It's a little bit cold out here this morning. So, is there a connection in that? Who's to say? News like this, we'll be getting more details throughout the day and probably the next few days, so we'll see what happens there. Ironically, or rather I should say curiously, last night also there was a Russian missile attack on a military base near the Polish border. Reports are that there was a salvo of about 30 missiles that struck a base that is being referred to as the International Peacekeeping and Security Center, also called the Yavoriv Military Range. The site is located about 15 miles from the Polish border. There were reports on the Polish side of the border that houses were shaking from the impact of the missiles. The facility is where international military exercises are held and is patterned after the NATO standard training centers, which that might have something to do with Russia attacking it, because that's been one of Russia's biggest issues, is they don't want anything NATO in Ukraine. All right, there were at least 35 people killed. I read some reports that indicate that some of those casualties could have been from foreign personnel. And again, the attack comes after Russia warned the U.S. on Saturday that pumping Ukraine with weapons from a number of countries orchestrated by them is not just a dangerous move, but these are actions that turn the corresponding convoys into legitimate targets. All right. Also, Biden has just authorized $200 million in defense aid for Ukraine, including arms, equipment, military education, and training. Now, I'm going to assume Oof, man, it's cold out here. I'm going to assume that this attack was in response to all of the military aid and all the weapons being sent by other countries across the border. Probably a warning. Now, here's one thing that I am wondering about. It's kind of a heck of a coincidence that Iran launches an attack on or near a U.S. consulate and base in Iraq at the same time that Russia launches an attack against a base in Ukraine near the Polish border that is possibly in response to U.S. channeling weapons and supplies and aid. Are the two connected? I don't know. I mean, it's very possible. Iran does have some close ties with Russia, and this could be kind of a joint strike of sorts. It's hard to say right now. I guess we'll find out shortly. But it's just another ratcheting up of tensions over there in that part of the country. So it's something to keep your eyes on. Today I was planning on doing certain things to prep the garden for this growing season. But we had a very sudden an unusual cold snap in this area. It got really cold for this area rather quickly. I'm looking at water right now that's frozen solid. So I doubt I'll be doing anything out in the garden today. So what I will do for today's preps, I will probably be going to the grocery store. I'm going to be stocking up on some more meats. I've got a lot of 12-hour shifts coming up this next week. There's probably going to be at least 5 of them, maybe 6. So I want to do some meal prep today to get ready for some of that, make things a little bit easier on me when I'm dealing with that next week. Put up some more food is always a good thing. I've got a couple other things that I want to do, and I don't know that anybody's going to be out at the flea market at this time of the morning with it being this cold. I want to go there to look for certain prep items. The flea markets here are always a good place to look for stuff like that. You may not always find stuff, but sometimes you can find some really good preps at the flea market. So I'll be checking that out. I'll be checking out some of the thrift stores around here as well. If I find anything good, I'll come back to you with another video on that. Again, sorry for the shaky video, but it is freaking cold out here. Man, whew. Yeah, there's frost on the grass, and I'm looking at a tub of water out here by my forge that looks like it's frozen solid. So I think I'm gonna crank up my truck, get warm, and go see what I can get done today and be productive. With that, that's all I've got right now. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, like, share, subscribe if you haven't. And I'll come back to you with more videos as soon as I can. For those that have been telling me you haven't been able to hear me that clearly during my videos, I don't know. I'm trying out a little mic to see if that helps. Let me know how the sound is on that. Give me some feedback on it. Hopefully it'll help you out, because I'm speaking about as loud as I possibly can, and if I try to speak any louder, my voice gets really hoarse and rough, and just doesn't work. Anyway, with that, I'm out of here. I got to get some stuff done. Thanks for watching again. As always, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll come back with some more videos as soon as I can. Until then, take care. I'll catch you later, guys.